getting to know as a sober human being, because I knew him up to a certain age as a sober person. But for the past several years, I haven't really known him. And, I'm looking forward to just getting to know him. He looks better, his eyes are clearer. He looks more grounded, if that makes sense. I noticed there's not like this fakeness, like he's just putting on for people. He could do that and was doing that when he was using in an effort to kind of hide the fact that he was using. But I felt that the smiles were genuine. I think he's really excited or anxious to learn about where he's going next after Triple Divide. So I think I wish I would have done it sooner. The journey is what the journey is. And a lot of times you're just blinded by that denial because you want to hope for the best and you want to believe your kid when they say everything's fine. I had a sense, it's that mom radar going off. I had a sense that something wasn't right. He didn't really want to participate in therapy. And so we kind of jumped around from therapist to therapist. Our relationship, it was getting more difficult because I was having to ground him and put in place punishments. And he would get really upset. Lots of yelling, lots of slamming doors. I mean, you're just always on alert when they're home. I was getting to the point where I was like needing to check in on every hour or so to make sure if he was sleeping that he was able to wake up. And when he would be out with friends, you just never knew if you're going to get a call from the police department or something like that. I reached out to an education consultant and she provided me with 2 different options for potential placements. Triple Divide had that 12-step component, which based on my experience, I know is really important. And then I like the fact that it had the wilderness component. I mean, I was impressed with how receptive they were to phone calls and questions. I mean, Chase was very willing to talk to me because we had probably 10 different conversations between the first time when I talked to him and the last time when I said, okay, Benny is coming, and just learning what Benny is truly like without any assistance from drugs and alcohol, and getting a much better understanding that and talking with his counselor, AJ. I was just floored and overwhelmed by how much is still underneath there. Every time I get off the phone with AJ, I'm like, well, he's in the right place. He's in the right place. If you participate in social media or you subscribe to certain things, you might hear concerns about abuse at certain places. And I just never felt that at Triple Divide because I feel like they're allowed to scream and yell and get upset. And if they screw up, the consequences are inherently on them. Whereas it's not like they're shut off in a room with, no interaction for a period of time. So I certainly didn't have any concerns about that. I'm looking forward with some probably healthy fear and understanding that he and I both have a lot of work to do individually and in terms of our relationship and setting up those boundaries. I think sometimes it's important to get out of your comfort zone. That's one of the things that I've had to do over the past several years. I did a lot of legwork before I made this decision, and it does involve research on your own, and you just got to keep plugging away. There is help out there. I would absolutely recommend Al-Anon. You're not alone. And that's why I think the help of the 12-step support groups is really, really important.